Things I really want to make a point of saying to you is that you're living in an extraordinary time, and chances are within your lifetime, you're going to see a lot of miracles happening. One of them will be extraterrestrial contact that seems to be inevitable in the next couple of years. But related to that, very much related to that, is pretty much the dissolution of the veil for those who are ready for it. Okay, because humanity's evolution is about rising to fourth density. And we've talked about this before, especially in our academy, about we're in third density and humanity is rising up to fourth. Fourth density is, you could say, the overlap between physical and non-physical. You're still physical, but you are not, don't want to say you're quasi, non-physical, but you're at the edge, right? You're at the border. And so because your vibration is higher on that fourth density, that means you can have connection through the veil. You can have experiences. What I'm understanding now through the people I'm talking to, people I'm meeting, who are sharing me their stories, is you can absolutely have physical contact with someone across the veil. Okay, now it might be in a lucid dream, it might be in meditation. Okay, but it's possible. And so I want you to just wrap your head around that and understand that this is coming whether you actively participate in it or not. Obviously, in our view, we recommend you actively participate because not just because you want to have contact, but because this can raise your vibration and it's going to be a foundation of your spiritual growth. Okay, it's much more than just reunion through the veil. It literally is your spiritual evolution, and it's why you came here. Now, you don't have to do this with us, like in the academy or any of our services. It's okay if you don't. We're not attached to it either way, but we just want you to know if this calls to you, find a way to do that. Find your own way, okay? Because that's why you're here. We're all here witnessing one of the most pivotal moments, certainly on this planet. And there are many other species, let's say, from other planets, other dimensions, that are watching us really closely to see how we navigate this, okay, the awakening. So if you're here to be part of that awakening, even if it's just to hold the space, be positively focused, or maybe to go further and to actually have contact through the veil. Just like there's going to be extraterrestrial contact, there's going to be interdimensional contact with loved ones across the veil. I can't promise you that you're going to see them 3D and experience them 3D, although Alan said that is possible at some point. But the stepping stone is probably having contact in deep meditation, having contact, in lucid dreams, out of body experiences of that nature. Okay, those will become easier, and people are going to have, in some cases, spontaneous experiences. Okay, and that's why we're trying to get the message up so that people don't freak out and go, "Am I going crazy? Like, what the heck is this?" Right? Like, "Oh my God, I just saw my husband and he wrapped his arms around me and I could feel him and I wasn't even in a lucid dream." Okay, well, if somebody would have that happen to them, they're going to think they cracked up, So we're trying to put this out there so that people don't think they're going crazy, which is why some people tell me when they read our book and they go, "Thank God I read your book because I thought it was only happening, only to me and nobody else, and I thought I was nuts." Okay. So Karen says in the live, "I loved how you clarified your imagination with an example, and it really resonated with me in a new way. It made the meditation flow so easily." Right. So I want you to really reframe imagination. That is going to get you where you want to go, people. Okay, you cannot reach the other side if you refuse to use your imagination, or if you don't believe it's real, or you question it and you doubt it. That's the first thing you've got to get in order, your definition of imagination and what it is and what it isn't. It is not make-believe. It is how you create by visualizing something, and then you say, I'm going to create this, I'm going to visualize it. It's also how you receive, how you interact with the other side. It is an open doorway between this world and above. Okay, it's always meant to be that. You have to go through the imagination passageway. You can't go through your physical mind. It doesn't understand it. It only understands this dimension, this earth plane dimension. Okay, here, that's all physical mind can do, communicate on this level. This way, cannot do. No can do. No passing. No can't enter. No way. You have to use your imagination. Get comfortable with it, embrace it. Interestingly, some people have strong imaginations and they still can't seem to access it. Probably that means you have a limiting belief. So you got to unpack that. You got to look at what is holding me back. I've got this vivid imagination, but I still can't seem to trust it, or I can't seem to, let it really go, like really go into it. You just got to deal with that. And it's not as hard as you think. Just know that. I mean, got more coming for you folks in terms of meditations, and that I believe will help you make contact through the veil. We're trying to make this as accessible, as simple, as easy as possible. I'm determined that it can be that way. My goal is to give what the I would say the basic experience that we're going to guide you through. We want to make it free. I would want to put it on YouTube. I have to see though, because there's some concerns I have, because when you really do go diving into your imagination, and it's all good, you're safe there. But when you start to connect with these higher energies, right, it can start to shake loose any fears and trauma that you've been holding back, you've been repressing or haven't processed. Process meaning you haven't allowed yourself to feel. So we're going to have a disclaimer on this, because that could start to shake loose. And I don't want anybody kind of going into, a bit of a panic or something. So you got to really be honest with yourself and know yourself and go, okay, am I ready for that? That's the only persons that would have any challenges here. Okay, is somebody who's had a lot of trauma and, let's say, abuse or fears that they have not dealt with, and they shouldn't be doing any of this, to be honest with you. You need to go work on that. You need to get a therapist for that. You need to process that way. But most people will be absolutely fine. Okay, it's not a problem if you just got some fear of the afterlife, or some more quote normal issues. I'm just talking about if you've got any psychological issues at all, you have to tread carefully. The same would be true for taking substances, right, like ayahuasca or mushrooms even. People need to understand that you're kind of opening up the doorway to some things that you may have like pushed down. And that's why in ayahuasca ceremonies, people throw up, they have all these experiences. Alan and I and our son had ayahuasca and it was fine, but that's because we didn't have any heavy issues. Our son got a little sick because he wasn't feeling well, but the shaman helped him out. He took care of him, patted him on the shoulder and said, good job. I think my son was 16 at the time, but we didn't have any intense experience because we were pretty clear. But you see what I mean? Like it's like that stuff is going to come out, and it needs to come out. But going to the other side, because it's such a high vibration, it will start shaking loose what isn't a match to it. So you got to be prepared to deal with that. And that's why we have the academy. And that's why we do what we do. That's why we have attunements. That's why we work with people one-on-one, because some people need a lot of help to get all that crap out so they can keep rising up. Okay. Not everybody needs that, clearly, but a lot of people do. Okay. We had taken a break and did some breakout rooms, and folks got to meet each other. So I hope you enjoyed that. I got a chance to talk a bit with some people that were in the main room. So I hope you enjoyed that, connecting with each other and sharing a little bit of your story. So now we want to move forward to doing some mini reading, which is what we do in our academy. And by the way, just want to let you know, we only have 5 more days before the $20 discount on the yearly membership goes away. So if you're interested at all, join us. Love to have you. We're having class on Saturday. We're going to talk about being passionate about being passionate. And why that's important is because your passion, excitement, this feeling of curiosity, right? Like fascination, like, I don't know, I just feel drawn to go explore this. That is the energy of your higher mind, your higher self, trying to lead you to your fulfillment. So the more you can live in the flow of life, acting from a place of excitement, of what brings you joy, the more you are living as your authentic self and being your true self. And the better life will be for you, right? That's just really how it is. If you're truly in a state of passion in your life, like you're excited about something, nothing negative can actually happen to you. That would simply be impossible. Okay, but excitement, don't mistake it for anxiety. Don't mistake it for anxiety, because some people do. True passion, joy, love, okay, is about being the true you. Okay. And so when you follow that, it's like the universe dropping you a trail of breadcrumbs going, right this way, right this way. This is to your fulfillment. This is to the next thing that's going to, bring you joy, bring you more joy and bring you more joy. And the more you're following your joy, the more joy you're going to experience, and the more blessings you're going to have, and the more synchronicity you're going to have in your life, and the more miracles you're going to experience. You're meant to live that way. So if that sounds good to you, join us this Saturday, because we're going to go deeper into that. We're going to certainly have a meditation and some sort of attunement on that, which is what we normally do. That's our calling card, if you will, whatever. So, and it's so important. I live in the flow of my life, and I still blows my mind. I still know that certain things that happen, I go, okay, that's not an accident. That's a synchronicity. I need to go do that. There's a reason why I noticed that. There's a reason why that came to me. There's a reason why this person said that to me. I know that everything in my life is an orchestration. And the more I live in that flow of that, the easier everything is. It doesn't mean I don't have any problems or challenges. I do. But when they happen, I just realize, okay, this is something for me to grow from, something for me to learn. I'm going to dive into this. And I always learn something from it, and I come out stronger for it. Okay. And life becomes an adventure. It's meant to be that way, even if you're grieving, because that love that you're feeling for your loved one who's crossed, okay, is leading you to who you really are. That's what love is, actually. The love we feel for others is source, is God, because they are, aren't they? All of us are. So when we feel called to reaching out to somebody because we love them, whether they're in a body or on the other side, we are reaching for our true self, which they're reflecting back to us with the love they have for us as we have for them. Right. So it's important to learn all these things. Like I said, it's not enough to just take psychic development classes. Trust me, I taught psychic development classes, and I saw the limitations with people of how it didn't heal them spiritually. It didn't fully open them spiritually. And so that's why I got more into healing, to help people to clear the limiting beliefs and fears are in their way. So if you really want to evolve and raise your vibration to go the fourth density, which is what pretty much everybody in the academy, our goal is, right, is to live in fourth density. Because then, yeah, you are automatically your own medium. You can talk to anybody on the other side, guides, angels, your loved ones, right? Because you're just closer to fifth density. Fifth density is a spirit world. And you can only be in fifth density if you drop your body. You can't take your body there. But you can commune with fifth density, with the beings there, your loved ones there, guides and angels there. Of course you can. But it happens more easily and Alan's saying to me, can be more physical. Okay. Not physical because they don't have this kind of body, right? But still, you can still be physical with them if you're in fourth density. And that will transform your grief. Now you can heal your grief by just having communication as well, okay, or having some profound experience as well. But if you want to continue and have, let's say, the highest experiences possible, then it's about raising your vibration, your frequency, and being in fourth density. Okay? And more people are, even if they're not trying to connect with a loved one through the veil, a lot of people are raising up to fourth density just because they're working on their spiritual development. We're just suggesting to you to take that path as well, because we know that it's going to give you fuller access to the other side. Not everybody is meant to go out of body to connect with their loved one that way. That's what I recently came to understand. Okay, everyone's different. Your awakening is going to be unique to you. Not everyone's going to go that direction. Some people will, some people won't. Some people might do this in a lucid dream. Other people can actually make contact, believe it or not, in meditation. And we're going to explore that more with our academy members, not so much, not certainly on this Zoom. Alan says we need to have everyone in a sort of a safe container, if you will, that we can work with them, and not just a big group of diverse people. The people that we've been coaching or that have access to all of our healing attunements and things that we have in the academy. I mean, somebody asked me, how many videos you have in your academy? And I took me forever to count. I don't even think I gave up counting. I think I was at 160 videos. I don't know. It's a bit too much, to be honest with you, but it's not by any means necessary to watch all of them. It's just that I was talking to one person who binge watched all of our YouTube videos. And I said, well, I got another 160 on my academy. And he said, yeah, I am going to join, but probably not right now because I got this other stuff going on. But yeah, okay, I'm interested. I said, well, if you liked 107 videos of ours on YouTube, I think you might like this 160 and more coming every week, right? So yeah, I'm coming, but not just now, right? So Alan says there's something for everybody in the academy. All right, but that's enough of that. We're not trying to hard sell you on it at all. Lisa and Dave, they're both in our academy. I wish I could watch all of them. Yeah, there's just so many, right? Where do you start? That's why I tell people, don't get overwhelmed when you join. Just go with what you feel guided to watch, or just come to the live sessions or watch the most recent live replays, whatever. Yeah, just take your time. Okay. Danny says she's working on it. Okay. Yeah. Tell me when you finish, because you'll get Alan says he'll give you a gold star. There's just too many, because I've put all of the content that I've created and taught since 2018 or so, 2018. So yeah, we're talking about 6 years of content. It wasn't every week or anything, but a lot of content in there. Oh, thanks. Somebody said the YouTube videos are amazing. Yeah, we are trying to reach everybody. So they'll let people know. If you know people who are struggling, send them to our YouTube channel. Okay, send them there. I want that channel to be my legacy after I leave this world. And I'm going to leave it to my son to run it because he's an amazing medium in his own right, even though he doesn't want to take that mantle just yet. All right, so we're going to do a couple of readings randomly. Now, I did, because I was talking to Jesse when everybody was in the breakout rooms, offered Jesse to read her, but she has to think about it. And I don't know, Jesse, have you thought about it? You can put in the chat. If you want to take a pass, we understand, because you don't have to have your camera on, but I do have to talk to you. So Jesse, you'll take a pass? Okay, no worries, no worries. All right. So here's your chance to, yeah, like just let us know what, if you want a mini reading, a coaching session, let us know. Remind me, I'm so in a trance a bit after the live and today. You guys did post questions in the Zoom group, right? I mean, the Facebook group, right? That you wanted me to answer. Is that right? See how I can't keep track of the Academy and all right, you got to raise your hand if you want a reading. You know where the reaction button's on the bottom of your screen? It says reaction. You see the little heart? It says react. Just have to raise your hand. And then we're just going to randomly choose somebody. I'll let people raise their hand. But in the meantime, let me just check something. Okay, yeah, let me just look at some of the questions. So you can just leave your hands up. I'm just going to answer the questions real quickly that were put in the group. So Angelina asked, do you believe that a soul can reincarnate into the same time frame that they were in before and to be around the same age that they were before? Now, I would say anything is possible, but it's extremely unlikely. And here's why. Remember, I know Angeline is in our Academy group. Remember, you are multidimensional. You exist in many different other parallel realities, other parallel lives. And you as a soul have many, in a sense, have many different personas, different spirits. You know, your spirit is you in this life with its own personality construct. And I do mean construct because there is a core personality that your soul has, and then there's a personality layered over that for the purpose of this existence. So why would somebody who is in a body in this life and then transitions, they cross over, why would they come back and be the same age, come to the same people, like kind of do the same thing? Like it wouldn't make any sense. And then everybody would be, and everyone's doing that, and be really confusing. Like, well, they keep coming back and it's, again, I'm not saying it's impossible, but just like anything is possible, the question of probability is a whole other question. Because there's no need, because there's a reason why they left. They were done. If they weren't done, they wouldn't have left. Does that make sense? So why would they come back and be kind of in a similar body and be with the similar people? Ellen says, it makes no sense. They would just have stayed. But the question that you're asking, you're coming from a wanting your partner to come back to you, which we understand. But you have to also get that, well, they left for a reason, even if you don't really accept or like the reason, there's a reason, or they still be here. So hope that makes sense. Is leaving your choice? Absolutely. Not the choice of the personality, the ego person, because Barb asked that question, is leaving your choice. It's the choice of the soul. Okay? Because I've told this to people that we leave when we were choosing to leave, and they get me upset, like, well, my husband would have never left me. He didn't want to die or something. I said, I get it, but that's his personality, human self, that never wants to die. Okay? The human that they are, the personality that they are, doesn't want to die. No. It's the soul that says, there's no death. I live forever. I'm done here. I've got another place to go. I've got something else to do. It doesn't worry about any of that. And neither does the true you, the spirit that you are, worry about that, because you are together with them on the other side right now. And Alan's saying, and you guys will experience more of that as this awakening keeps happening on the planet, and you start to realize you're connecting more with all your loved ones in the spirit world. That, oh, I'm actually there, dreaming that I'm here. Because that's what you're doing. You're dreaming that you're here in a body in this life. Okay, so yeah, every soul chooses when they go. There's no accidents. And you might say, but why did they have to, let's say, go have cancer or something? You don't know why a soul experiences what they experience. It could be to teach those in the family or their friends or people around them to have compassion. And they volunteered to have a disease to teach them that. There's many, many reasons, but everything is happening by design on the soul level. So Barb says he just got a kidney transplant, was so happy, got COVID and died. So it was his plan. On a soul level, yeah, as hard as that might be to hear. And I want to point out that a lot of souls, well, I want to say spirits, because you're a spirit that was in a body. The soul is the totality of all the lives that that person is living concurrently. So in many cases, somebody crossing over right now has doing that to help from the other side, to help you from the other side, because they have more power to help you from the other side. I promise you that, because they're limitless. Yeah, they can't be in a body, but remember, we're rising up to fourth density. They can interact with us more, right? They can heal you, which they probably couldn't do if they were in a body, most of them, because they weren't, free of their negative ego. But when they transition, different story. I have heard spirits say, oh, I died when I died because I knew my daughter, this is the spirit from your side coming through saying, because I knew my daughter was going to get cancer and I wanted to help her. And the father did. And the daughter says, oh my God, yeah, I had 4th stage cancer, whatever, and she recovered. And it was because the father was healing her from the other side. So you don't understand or know like the bigger picture of why they exited when they exited. Maybe they're trying to help you or other loved ones from the other side, and they couldn't do it when they were here. Impossible. But when you transition, you step into all your abilities, and you know that when you're on their side that you can come visit the physical world. You know you can influence your loved ones. You know you can help them heal. People have been healed. I've talked to plenty of people that know that their loved one, was responsible for their healing. Someone I know, a teacher I respect, he says, and I don't know if this is true, but this is what this guy says. He says, like Joe Dispenza, who you may all know, who had fractured his spine and went through his own self-healing process, healed his spine. From what this other teacher I know says, he says that Joe Dispenza's, I think, grandfather helped him heal that. I would not be surprised at all, because they can do things like that. Now, if he hadn't healed, that was his path to stay, remain with that fractured spine. Okay. But if that's part of the soul's plan to heal that, and look what came of him healing himself, right? Because he has gone on to help thousands and thousands of people. So understand, you don't know the bigger picture. Okay, you just don't know. But many of them are trying to help us from the other side. And many of your loved ones, they may be trying to help with the awakening, certainly to help with your awakening, if nobody else's. But they can do far more from the spirit world than they ever could when they're in a body. I was going to say most of them. Alan said, no, all of them. All of us can do more from the other side. If those in a body are receptive, they can do far more. Okay, far more, because if we're open and engaging with them, then we're grounding their energy into this world and they can do more for us. I know we all didn't want our loved ones to pass, but know that, there was a reason, and not only will you be with them again, you're with them right now. Okay, so we're going to choose somebody to read. Okay, Alan, I'm asking Alan who he wants to talk to. All right. Joey's iPhone, who's that? Alan says, you're the lucky winner. Come on down.
Hello. Yeah, my name's Joey Joe. I'm
Yeah.
in northwestern Australia. I don't know if you can see my video, but there's a lot of flies, so I
I
apologize for
can
my
see you. I
hand
can see
waving
you. Don't
around.
worry.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for your words.
Yes. So how can we help you? What do you need from us? This isn't a conventional mediumship reading, although I certainly might be
It's all
getting
right.
information, but just tell me what you need help with or what's going on.
I lost my husband to suicide.
Oh,
I just
sorry.
I just want to know if he's okay.
Well, I want to assure you that he's more than okay. Okay. More than okay. I immediately, as I said that, I heard, I'm sorry. And I'm going to assume that's him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Thank you.
He says he had no idea the impact of his passing that way, how that would have, you know, impact hurt you and everyone. He's showing me everyone, like capital letters, everyone. So many
Yeah.
people he's
Yeah.
seeing, like everyone. So not just,
Thank
so
you.
there's a lot of remorse, there's a lot of sadness, there's a lot of guilt. He said, so you said this is your husband, correct? I'm
Yeah.
just, because he's saying, I wasn't the best husband. I tried because I tried, but I wasn't always the best, but I'm the best now.
Yeah. Thank you. I will clarify. I mean, we were engaged to be married. We just didn't get there.
He's
But
saying he's your husband.
yeah, oh, he always said that.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. He's saying, no, I'm her husband.
Thank you.
None of that we were engaged stuff. He goes, in heaven, we're married.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. That sounds like him.
And he wants you to have a ceremony. I don't know if you know that. He wants you to have a ceremony of some sort. It can be
Okay.
just personal, something you do. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be, you invite people. You can if you want it
Yep.
to be, but just
Yep.
something for you and him. Okay. He says, I will be
Okay.
there. And now he's showing me like in a tuxedo, like, really? Okay. Like, really, like full decked out, right? Like, really decked out in a tuxedo.
Okay.
And he says, I will be there and you will feel me. He says, you will feel me.
Uh, oh,
Okay.
wow.
I want you to know he's working on that. He's working
Thank
on
you.
that. And by the way, guys, even if you're not in our academy, Alan is still working with your loved ones. I know that because I get emails from people all the time that go, yeah, I reached out to Alan and he did this and he did that. And I go, oh, that's good. That's his job, to help everybody. So he says you're going to feel him, and you are soon enough will hear him more clearly. I think you kind of hear him, but
I do.
he
I
says
do.
more clearly. He's emphasizing more,
Yep.
so
Okay.
you hear him. Trust
I'm
that
working on it. Thank you.
trust that you hear him. He's trying out different things to connect with you, like testing different
Yep.
things. So that's why I said earlier,
Okay.
I don't know if I said this in today or in the live, so forgive me, but I think it was in the live stream. Just trust whatever you experience is kind of weird. Like you go, what was that?
Yep.
That was strange. Like, what, I felt this weird
Yep.
thing, or I heard this weird thing. It's going to pretty much be him. Okay.
Yep.
So it's important that you seize on it and not just go, well, that's weird, because that's like shutting it down, right? Because he's this is so funny. He's flexing his psychic muscle, like I'm working out
Okay.
psychically. Okay. So you want to encourage him by acknowledging any little thing. Okay. And Alan goes, even if you something happens and it isn't him, Alan says it doesn't matter, because
No,
your encouragement is what matters, right? It's
it's
like, who cares to
fantastic.
say, oh yeah, I know that's you,
Oh,
because it just builds the energy. Whereas
yep.
dismissing it, ignoring it, telling yourself, well, that's weird, that just like throws water on the whole thing, right? It's like wet blanket kind of thing. You don't want to do that. So just go all in, because I feel like Alan says, yeah, he's gaining strength on the other side. So you're going to have more experiences.
Thank you. Oh, you've made my day.
But he had to leave because he didn't know how else to deal with things. He reached something like, I reached the end of my rope, where I didn't know what else. It was like he's showing me going on a circle, going, this is more mentally or emotionally. Like, I don't know what else to do. And he was kind of trapped in his own hell of his own making in his mind or something. He didn't know what else to do. And he was suffering mentally, emotionally. And he says to me that it was sort of planned. And the way he's explained to me is, he knew coming into this life that this is the soul. Okay. His soul knew this would be an option, but it was, but it wasn't an accident, meaning like, because some people weren't meant to take their life, but still they do. Okay. In his case, it was like, it was always on the table. It was always an option. But, and that I know can be true for some souls. Some souls, they actually do plan it. They actually do know coming in, like, I'm going to exit through taking my life. They already know it. That wasn't his case. It was more like an option. But he's surrounding you with so much love. All the time. And I'm feeling it, like, okay. And so he's determined that you feel his presence, no matter what. How long has it been?
It'll be 3 years on the 7th of October.
Okay.
So, very close. Very close.
3 years.
Yep.
He says he wants a wedding. Okay, so do something about that. Because in the spirit world, you guys are married. Because your spirit is there with him now. So you might as well kind of make it real in this reality, in the 3D reality. You might as well do that. And if you can, even get some sort of ring for yourself. It doesn't have to be pricey. I mean, it can if you can afford it, but it doesn't have to be. It's just symbolic, right? So you can, you know what I mean? I mean, you can get something really simple. He says, let him choose it for you. Like, go looking and you'll feel him guide you to it. Okay. And trust in the synchronicity, because you'll find it like when you least expect it. I don't know how it will be. Either you'll be in a store somewhere and you'll go, oh, I think that might be it. That kind of thing. Like, just surprise you. And then know that, okay, now it's time for the ceremony.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Right. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I hope that helps you.
It certainly does. And thank you for all your hard work.
You're so welcome. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Okay. Well, you're all right. Who's next, Alan? Okay. All right, Sarah H. There you
go.
Hi.
I really want to do automatic writing, but I feel like I have this block about it, and I just really want to get past that and over that. I don't know if it kind of freaks me out or
what are you afraid is going to happen if you do automatic writing?
Well, one part of it is like, what if it doesn't happen and I'm just writing stuff? I mean, I don't.
All right. Do you understand? Okay. Are you trying to do automatic writing where the spirit is in control of the pen or even the keyboard? Or are you trying to do what I call channeled writing, where you're letting the information just come into your mind?
I haven't even attempted, but channeled writing. Yes.
Okay. So we're suggesting that you take the pressure off yourself and just play with this in this way. Okay. And this advice is for everybody who wants to do this. Set the intention that you're going to channel whoever you're going to channel. If it's your guides, fine. If it's a loved one, fine. Just decide, who is it, right? Who am I? It's your guardian angel, fine, whatever. So you set the intention for you're going to channel, and you sit down with pen or paper or typewriter, whatever, computer, whatever, and you need to focus it. So I would suggest asking a question, like it could be, what are you doing over there? Or how am I doing over here? Or what do you think about such and such, something that happened, or anything, right? You want to get things rolling in the beginning, like ask a question or ask them to give you information about something, right? So that this focuses you. And then just relax and just go with it. This is about tuning in and allowing. It's not about making it happen, because when you try to make something happen, you're actually not going to get anywhere.
Right.
This is allowing, just like a reading, a psychic reading. Like when I was talking, did this reading, I was just letting, they was just coming into my mind, just things, pictures, images, words, messages coming into my mind. It's similar to that. So you're just going to start writing. And by the way, let the first sentence or two be something that, yeah, okay, maybe you made it up. Who cares? Here's the deal. Just like in our live stream, we're talking about using your imagination to meet them halfway. Like, you're not making it up. You're kind of setting the scene. You're kind of getting the ball rolling. You're kind of, again, meeting them halfway, right? So you can get started. And it might feel initially like you're making it up, but as you just keep going, you'll find that the words keep flowing into your mind, and you just keep writing and writing and writing and writing and writing, right? Without censoring, without judging, just writing it until you feel like you can't write anymore. Just keep writing it. It will end at some point. You just keep writing it. And then you go back and go, oh, okay, well, maybe I started that first sentence. Maybe that some of that was me, but then the rest just kind of came in, because most of you and most people here know what it's like to try to write something, right? Like, I got to sit down, I got to write this letter to my mother-in-law or somebody that I don't like. You're like, oh, I don't know what to write, right? And the words are like, you're eking out the words because you don't. This is like a flow. That's how you know you're channeling. It's a flow. And in the beginning, don't care. Like, I don't care if it's accurate or not. I'm practicing. I'm just letting whatever comes in mind come, and I'm writing it down. And the more you do it, the more you'll trust it. It's just like, it is like giving a reading. Alan would always say, like, it's for getting started is the hardest part, because you just getting in there. Just know that what happens is, even if you did, like I said, deliberately made the first sentence your own from you, they're going to start inserting their message, because they're not going to, miss the opportunity. So you just have to keep writing, and you're saying, okay, just come through me. And that's what I have to do, is be willing to write down whatever you believe you hear or know, whatever comes to you. That's all you do. Say, okay, I'm taking dictation from you. All right, you're just going to put your words in my mind. Okay, I'm just going to make it up. Okay, be okay with making it up. And then you'll realize, oh my God, how could I have written that? Like, I didn't know that. Like, that was very wise, or that was very helpful. That was very insightful. So be okay with it feeling like you're making it up, and not have any attachment to what it is. And then once you get going, you'll realize, I can do this. I promise you, channeled writing is the easiest thing anybody can do. All right. And again, the challenging part is just getting started, just going, I'm just going to put out there whatever it comes to me.
That's true.
And then it'll take over.
Yeah. That's really helpful.
I mean, it can be more difficult if you're just sitting there hoping something will come through. And that's why when people are learning to channel, a lot of times it's goes better for them. And this is, I'm talking about if they're vocal channeling, because I've taught this for years. So it's better if they have somebody to practice with, like somebody who's going to ask a question, because then they just go with that, right? It's like the answer just is drawn through them. But that's why if you're going to write it, you're going to have to start with a question,
right.
that you want to know, something that, or a problem. Like, I don't know what to do about little Johnny, and he's getting into fights at school or whatever. You just say, what can you help me? And then just see what comes through, right?
Right. Yeah.
But let it be okay that it feels like you're imagining it. It has to feel that way.
Right. Yeah.
It has to, because you're using your right brain, which is connected to your imagination, and also because they're communicating with you through your field, your energy field, right? So it's coming into you and it feels like you, because they kind of have to blend with your energy. You know what I mean? It cannot feel so different from you, because then it's like you couldn't hold that state. It would be too discordant. Like, wait, you're so to kind of come into you, kind of blend with you, and no, they don't, nobody like possesses anybody. It's
Right.
nothing like that happens. Nothing
Well,
like
if
that
he
happens.
did, it's my husband. It's okay.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, it's you, honey. Go ahead and possess me. But even then, they can't take over. They can't, because you're a soul that will always be a singular soul. So they can merge with you, but they can't like completely take over. That's really impossible.
Yeah. I mean, I can communicate with him through meditation and stuff. So I mean, why?
He wants you to write, and he wants you, okay, this is funny. He wants you to write about him. So this is the assignment I'm being given to give you. And I don't think this is all from him. I think this is from Alan. Alan's saying, and this is just a suggestion, you can take it or leave it, and everybody can take it or leave it. So what if you said to your husband, okay, I want to write the story of your life, because no matter how long you've been together, chances are your husband didn't tell you everything about himself. Not everything.
Right.
Not from the perspective that he can now on the other side, now that he has like 360-degree vision. Like I can see my so say, all right, what do you want to tell me about yourself? And just write his story. Right, like okay, well, tell me about your childhood. Like, what was the most challenging part for you, or when were you the happiest? When were you had the most struggles? When did you, right? Like get to know him and write what he tells you.
Yeah.
You
That's
understand?
great.
That would he's but I think your husband wants to talk about that, and then Alan goes, yeah, tell him to have her write his story, like his life story.
Yeah.
He said, and Alan's laughing. He goes, men like to talk about themselves. We love to talk about ourselves. Aren't we wonderful? Aren't we great? Aren't we amazing? Alan likes to talk about himself all the time. And that's why I go, I'm not writing your story. I already wrote a book with you. I'm not writing your story. He's saying to me, I'll get you to do that one day. So write his story. You'll get to know him on a level that you weren't able to know him when he was in a body. Okay, because he's going to open his heart to you.
Yeah. I mean, everything's been pointing to automatic writing. I keep hearing about it. I was like, I'm going to do it. No, I don't want to. Then
it keeps coming to your mind, right?
And yeah, and I'm hearing
well,
all
where
about
do you
it
think that's
externally.
coming from? It's coming from him, and it's coming from your higher self.
Yeah.
From both. That's
what
why you can't get away from it. It keeps coming back into your mind. It's like, hello.
Yeah.
Like, do this.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you want more contact. You want a deeper connection, right? This will do it. So again, believe whatever you think you hear or know, whatever comes to your mind. Don't censor it. Just write it. In fact, if you might, this is a suggestion, you don't have to do it, but you might want to just write, and then put it away. Don't even look at it. Write, put it away. Don't even look at it. Come back later, weeks later, and go, okay, I'm going to read what I wrote.
That's a good idea too.
Without even because otherwise you might go, yeah, but yesterday I wrote like maybe put it away. You know what I mean? Like maybe put it away.
Yeah, before
your thinking mind gets in there and it starts like doubting and going, oh, I think you made that up. Because remember, your logical mind, folks, is just going to question all of this and go, what are you doing? This makes no sense. Like you can't do this. This is not real. So you have to just stifle that and just say, that's okay. I'm pretending I'm having fun. And just go, right, do your thing. And then
so very helpful. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. that was, Alan says he needs to get credit for it. So
Thank you, Alan.
all right, honey, you get credit, but I'm still not writing your story. Okay. I heard it too long during our marriage. He's always telling me his stories of his childhood. And I said, I heard that a million times already. That story. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. Okay. All right, folks. I think we're going to end it here at an hour and a half. Okay. And oh, Alan goes, okay, we'll do one more. We'll do one more. He's telling me one more. Okay. He says, because we're on a roll here. All right. I spoke too soon. Who is it, Alan? Okay, Barb Daniels. Did you know we were going to call on you?
I was hoping.
What can we help you with? What's going on?
So, I lost my husband, and I feel he can see me. Does he miss being here with me? We work together, we spent so much time together, and it's just been so hard without him. Does he see, like, I had to box up some of his clothes and do some things. I didn't know, is he upset with me with the way I'm handling things? We never really talked about what would happen if he did die. Yeah. And, I've just had to do so many things that I didn't think I could do. And I wonder.
He's helping you do them. Do you understand? He's helping you find the strength or the ingenuity to figure out or do it, both, energetically, like have the energy to do it, and then to understand how to do it, all that kind of figuring out how to do it. But because I want to tell you and everybody that when they cross over, they understand what's really important. All the little things of, would he be upset if I did this or that? Like, none of it matters. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't mean he doesn't care. It means, like, he understands those are not important. You are the one that's important. Your welfare, your security, your state of mind, your everything about you is the only thing that's important. Whatever you want to do with anything materially, it's like whatever. Even if he had, and this I know has happened with some people have crossed, maybe when they were in a body, they said, whatever you do, don't do this, or, be sure this doesn't happen, whatever, right? When they cross over, most of the time, it's like, I don't care about that anymore. Like, they're like, it doesn't matter to me anymore, because they see the bigger picture. They see what's really important, and all those little things, not important.
Okay.
Only thing that's important are the people they love. And as long as you're doing what you need to do to take care of you, he'll be happy. Okay. Does he see what you're doing? Absolutely. He says he's always with you. He's always watching out for you. He's trying to comfort you, but, and I don't know if you watched our live stream that we talked about how grief is actually love having been inverted, and that we're not understanding that the deep grief we're feeling is actually profound love that they're wrapping around us, but it triggers deep emotion, and we interpret it as grief. Okay, when it's really love. And I think it's really interesting because Spirit says, yeah, when it's so intense in the beginning, because they're actually broadcasting so much love to us, because they're desperate to let us know that they love us, they're still here. And so we're interpreting it as this intense grief, when it's really that they're blanketing us in love. And love is such how love can both make you just erupt with joy, but also bring you to tears. Yeah. It's just so moving, right?
Yes.
That's why people cry at weddings. They cry, when a baby is born. It's the same thing. So you're crying because it's immense emotion of love, but because this person is, you thinking, oh, because they're dead, so you're grieving, you're turning into grief when it's really this immense love. But there's such a fine line between that love that makes us cry out of awe, just because we're awed and just, overwhelmed, and then grief and sadness, right? It's just, It's hard
Mhm.
to tell the difference, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
I've experienced Alan come through and I cry, but I'm not sad. The love is so intense that
Yeah.
I cry. Okay. But you can see if I was still thinking, having thoughts about, well, you're dead, I'm never going to see you, then I'm going to filter that through my belief that I still have that, I can't see you or you're dead. And it's going to turn into grief because it's the same tears, but they're being mistranslated.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm not saying people got to grieve. Okay. So I'm not saying everybody, you should shut down your grief. Just understand what it really is and see if you can lean into the love that's coming through in that moment, because there's love there too. Your beliefs are going to create your experience. Okay, so because that's how it works. You have a belief about death, obviously, because everybody in this world says, well, they're dead, they must be dead. So if you buy into that, then of course it's going to feel horrible. If you believe he's dead and gone forever or whatever, or there's no marriage in heaven, or you won't be together, of course you're going to feel like it's the end of the world. But that's not a truth. In fact, because that thought makes you feel so terrible, it means it's actually a lie, because that's your emotional guidance system telling you what you're believing is false. That's how it works. A belief that's a limiting negative belief is always going to make us feel terrible because it's not true. But your physical mind goes, but wait, but he's not here, right? So it's going to argue, but wait, he's gone. But now you have to shift to understanding that he's a spirit and so are you. And that's why this journey is a journey of spiritual growth and understanding, right? Understanding I'm more than a physical being. And he too was always more than a physical being, but now he's returned to being just a spirit. But he's more alive than he ever was before. He just doesn't have a body. And does it mean he misses being? Of course he misses being physical with you. They all do miss the physical, body, right? Being here. But there's nothing to be done about it, right? Like I can't be there in a body. So he's going to make peace with that. Of course, he's going to be overjoyed that you're willing to reach out to him, because most people in a body are not open to that.
Yeah.
Because they either don't believe it's possible, or they think it's crazy or wrong or what have you, right? And so to have you be open to communicating, to connecting, that makes up for a lot of it for him, for all of them. Like, well, my loved one still knows I'm with them. Like, I can communicate, and I can even be present in some way, like feel you how long has it been since he?
It's almost 7 months.
Okay,
Just a couple
so
days.
it's still that first year when there can be more contact, and there can be more contact even after the first year. But like I said, because we're rising up to fourth density, but it just means we all have to work on our beliefs, and we have to work on any issues and clear any resentment. We have to forgive the people we haven't forgiven and all that kind of stuff. We have to deal with any anger we're carrying towards anybody, all those things. All those negative emotions that people carry keep their vibration low.
Oh, really? That's interesting because I'm carrying a lot of anger at the person that
Or
gave me COVID. Went to dinner with us and was sick and gave it to him. I'm angry, and I feel like the universe has been telling me you have to let it go.
you have to
But
let it go because it's impacting you. It will impact your health. It will certainly lower your vibration. You need to strive to feel unconditional love for everyone, even that person.
yeah,
Understand that I know it's really hard to hear this, but it was all orchestrated. On some
it's
level, it's
meant
all
to go that way.
orchestrated. I know it's tough to hear that, but you got to forgive that person. Didn't do that deliberately.
No.
They didn't get COVID and said, well, yeah, you know what? I want to give it to as many people as I can. And I want to take them out, you know? And even if they didn't, but even if they had, that person who would have that attitude, there's something wrong with them.
Yeah.
Clearly. Right. So yeah, you have to find a way to forgive that person and anybody else that you have unforgiveness for. And forgive yourself if there's any way that you feel like you failed. And if there's anything that you need to forgive your husband for, you're upset about him for it. Like everybody, like get that all cleared, because that will keep your vibration low. It's going to make contact with him very difficult.
That,
Because he exists in a place, he is in a place of unconditional love. You've got to match the frequency of that as best you can. If you
okay.
do that, then Alan's saying you can have an all access pass to the afterlife, but you can't have it if you're carrying fear, resentment, anger,
Yeah.
self-loathing, all that, self-hatred. Everybody's got to like cast all that off and rise up, because that's your natural state, to be up there. And that's really it is. And it's as simple and as difficult as that.
Okay.
The way is simple. To do it is, you know, everybody's going to be a little challenged to do it. But he says he wants you to forgive that person. It's okay. Let it go. And you know that he's putting ideas in your head. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You go, huh? Like,
Yeah.
what was that? Like, that something will just occur to you.
Yeah. I had terrible anxiety driving. It's lifted since he's been gone. I'm driving and I just feel like, you know,
He's making sure he's doing everything he can to heal you of that and other
yeah.
things. But he can't make you forgive that person.
Yeah.
You have to do it, right?
Yeah.
But
I
he's
have
helping
to.
you in every other way.
Yeah. I've gotten a lot stronger than I ever thought I could be.
This I know this is really rough, and I get it, losing your husband,
It
losing
is.
anyone you love, whether it's a parent, a child, a friend, whatever. But it can't, these things are, these challenges help us grow in a way that we could never grow on the other side. When you're
I
pushed to your limit like that, okay? And he's there to help you.
yeah.
And you're going to be open up spiritually. You guys planned this. It's going to help expand you. And when you cross over to the other side, you're going to celebrate this and go, wow, I did what I planned to do. I achieved what I set out to achieve. And it wasn't easy, but boy,
And
it's worth it.
he'll be there when I cross over. You feel
He's
really
going to
feel
take your hand. You're going to just feel like you're walking into the next room.
it's wonderful.
Because by then he's saying you're going to really know he's with you. You're going to hear him, feel him, see him. So it's going to be like, oh yeah, I'm dead. Okay, I woke up and you're just here, and we're just walking to the next room.
Thank
Okay.
you.
But forgive that person, because they played the part they're supposed to play in it. And he knows it hurts, or it feels terrible to think that way, but it was all orchestrated.
Yeah.
You're going to know the real him. Okay. Because as much as he loved you and you loved him, and I know you were close, we really don't know somebody fully while they're here in a body, because their negative ego usually makes it really kind of difficult to some degree. So when they cross over, now they're more their true self, like everything, and there's no fear, and so he's the improved version of himself. He's still growing and learning. It's not like he's enlightened, and there's no end to how much we grow and learn, but he's in a more expanded state, right? But he's still him. He still has the basic personality, otherwise you wouldn't recognize him. But understand this, that the personality is not a fixed thing. Like, in other words, like, you don't have the personality the spirit has when they're in the body is not their soul completely. That's bigger than that, more than that, if that makes sense.
It does. Yeah, it does. Oh,
Okay,
thank you. Thank you so much.
you're so welcome. I'm going to let you go now, okay?
Thank you.
You're so welcome. So, folks, before we close out, Ellen reminded me, I think there was still some other questions you guys asked, and I didn't get to all of them. So I want to see if I can try to get to, okay, here. I have to find it on my phone. Real quick. I know, Peggy, you're here, right? Peggy Schleyer says, how can I tell the difference between my brain talk and Michael talk? My brain never shuts off. Yeah, you're going to have to, no other way around it. You're going to have to practice. See some basic meditation of just relaxation, of just focusing on the breath. And because that's important. It's can be difficult when somebody's grieving. Meditation can be really difficult, but that's the key. Like, you have to quiet your mind. And when we get this meditation that I'm inspired to do out there, I think that will help. But in the meantime, I would just go do whatever meditation you're guided to do, or just to sit quietly and contemplate something. It's just focusing your awareness on one thing, whether it's a candle that's lit in front of you, or just staring at the sky, a night sky, or the sky in the daytime, whatever. Just focusing your awareness on one thing to just kind of clear out. And then if thoughts come, your inner chatter comes, just let it come, and then just come back to what you're focused on. Just keep coming back to what you're focused on, just leading the mind back to looking at the candle or counting your breaths, all that. There's no other way around this, but to go through it, to go do that. So I hope that helps. Charlene asks, is there any tricks to recalling your complete dreams? I dream a lot, but I can only remember bits and pieces. And other times I only know that I've dreamed, but I cannot recall any details. There's no substitute for keeping track of your dreams. That's it. There's no hack to that. There's no secret tip I can give you about that. You just have to set the intention. Before you go to sleep at night, I'm going to remember my dreams. That would help your intention. And then when you wake up, write whatever bit you remember. It doesn't matter if it's only like keywords, like a few words or one sentence or general description. Just your intention of remembering your dreams, and then writing down what you can remember. It doesn't have to be all of it, just what you can remember, is going to keep building your muscle, right? Your dream muscle, your dream recall muscle. It's by doing. Okay. We always learn by doing. So just keep that journal going, keep writing whatever bits you remember, and keep affirming to yourself, I'm going to remember my dreams. But okay, here's the thing. When you set that intention, don't be insistent, like, I'm going to remember my dreams. I really want to remember my dreams. That's a way to push it away. You don't gently say, I'm going to remember my dreams, and then forget about it. Like, okay, I'm going to remember my dreams. But not be insistent, because insistence is resistance. And when you really, 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 really want something, you're actually pushing it away. I know that sounds like it doesn't make sense, but that's how it works. The universe works. It's about saying, my intention is to remember my dreams, and I'm going to let it go, and just do my best to remember them and write it down. Cleo asked, do our personalities change very much from one lifetime to another? So if we are quiet and unassuming, can we reincarnate as outgoing and gregarious? I think I kind of talked about a little bit about this, about personality. Your personality that you have in this life, you constructed it. It's not necessarily all your permanent personality, although you kind of have a core personality as a soul. Like, for example, Alan's personality, I know his core personality on soul level, is that he's funny. And he says, so am I. Like, he's funny, and he's friendly. I'm going to kind of leave it at that. But insofar as the personality you are in this life, the next one or other ones you're living, again, concurrently, you can be whatever you want to be, because you don't have a fixed persona or personality. You get to choose. So yeah, in another life, you're going to be shy and quiet. Another one, you're going to be loud and boisterous. You're going to choose whatever personality you have decided would serve you for that existence. So there's a reason for everything. And by the way, both Alan and myself, as children and even as somewhat young adults, were extremely shy. Alan, excruciatingly shy. Okay. Shyness is actually sort of a distortion, if you will. Most people will say they're introverted. Most people identify as introverted. That's actually a distortion, because if you were undistorted, you would have times in your life or your day to day even when you're quiet and introspective, and then you'd have times when you're more expressive and maybe even outgoing. That's a more balanced persona, where they're not always shut down and introverted or always loud and boisterous and outgoing, right? Because you're really meant to kind of go with the flow there. And of course, there'll be times when you're more wanting to be solitary and to yourself, and other times when you want to be more out there in the world and active and engaged. So I just want to kind of leave you with that. But yeah, the personality you have in this life may be more inclined to be more solitary, more quiet. I was very quiet growing up and very kind of afraid to speak up and stuff. And now look here, I'm on here talking to you guys and on YouTube, right? But because I'm being my true self, and my true self is comfortable just with any of it. Okay, so if you're taking action or behaving in a way coming from fear, which he and I both were when we were younger, being more insecure, it was fear-based, our behavior. But when we got over those fears, then we kind of came out of our shells, right? And became more comfortable in our skin. So if you are feeling introverted, you might want to look at that. Like, is this something that I maybe want to heal? Because it doesn't mean it has to be who you are. You actually, I don't want to freak you out, but you guys all have multiple personalities. You do. You don't just have one persona. Okay. Now somebody just asked, do you believe in the theory of the soul trap? No, that's just bogus. There's no soul trap. Just don't ever believe that kind of stuff. No. The soul trap idea is that when you pass, you should turn away from the light. No, whoever started that ridiculous story, completely crazy. There is no soul trap. There's lots of stuff out there. Be really careful if you go diving into the subject of the afterlife, because it can completely screw you up. I've worked with people that I have to deprogram and say, no, that's not true. That's not true. Be really careful. I recommend the book, The Last Frontier by Julia Asante, as a book that I like the most about the afterlife. Let me try to type it in here. The Last Frontier. I've mentioned her before, by Julia Asante. I recommend that book, but not too many others. I mean, there are others, but I don't, it's really challenging because most people have limiting beliefs, and they haven't really been to the afterlife. Come on. I wouldn't take anybody's word for it. And by the way, even if they did go to the afterlife, and I know people who have, they're still going to encounter some of what they believe to be true. So you have to take everything with a grain of salt. Even my out-of-body experience teacher, I think some of what he's saying is coming from his belief system, because you can't get away from that until you're fully transitioned. At least that's what Alan says. You can't until you fully drop your body, because you just have beliefs that filter stuff. So that's why you got to be really careful about what you believe by people written when they're in a body. And why we say keep it simple and just connect to your own guides, to your loved ones, to your own angels, get your own answers. You don't need to go through a middleman, and you don't need to know all the minutia about the afterlife. Focus on being your true self, because Alan's saying all the other stuff is mind candy, and it's distracting you from the real work you're here to do, which is to find out who you really are and live your life in alignment with your truth. Be authentic. That's the work. All the other stuff, he says, is just window dressing and isn't going to get you any further, and could actually set you back, because it's going to be completely confusing. You're not going to know what to believe or what to do. Okay. Spirit has always said to me, keep it simple. Humans make life much too complicated when it's really simple. Be who you are, be the love that you are, love everyone unconditionally, including yourself, right? Know that you're guided, follow your passion, follow your excitement, because that is your higher self leading the way. You don't need to know everything about everything. You'll know what you need to know when you need to know it. And if you go trying to find it all before you're ready to know it, you're just going to get completely derailed and want to give up. Okay. Know that your life is orchestrated by your higher self. You will be guided to what you need to know. Don't go looking for it. That's your physical mind who's anxious and who believes that if I just learn more, then I will feel better. No, no, no. Don't take action from a place of misalignment. Don't take action from the physical mind's nudging, which is usually fear-based. Only do something when you feel guided to, when it feels exciting, when you feel curious about it, right? It feels fascinating, not from anxiety. Taking action from anxiety only creates more anxiety. Stop the insanity. Yeah, Danny says, be very careful about what you read, because as Pam says, the majority of it is junk. It is. Most of it is junk. And with AI now, oh my God, you guys really got to stop reading. And be careful about who you're listening to also, okay? You got to trust your guidance. You've got the guidance system, your God guidance system that says, oh, this feels good to me. Trust that. Don't go by, well, this person has a PhD and this person had 20 near-death experiences or whatever they had. Don't go by that. That's all surface stuff. That's all the physical mind stuff. Go by, okay, my intuition, my heart is pulling me toward that. I feel passionate about that. I feel excited about that. Go with that. Okay. Don't go seeking random information. Yeah, Alan's saying, yeah, you guys are seeking this information because you're only doing it because you think it's going to make you feel better. But when you take action again from a place of misalignment, you're just going to experience more misalignment, because what you put out is what you get back. So never take action as much as possible from a place of misalignment. Only take action when you feel this positive impulse, whether it's love or joy or excitement or curiosity. Otherwise, don't do anything. Just be. All right, we're done here. So thank you so much. If this helped you, let us know, right? Like, let us know in the group. You guys are in the Life and Love After Death group. Let us know. We appreciate it if you comment on our live streams. It just helps it be shown to more people when people comment. And of course, let people know about our channel, about our group. And within that, we love and appreciate you. We thank you for being here, for spending time with us. And we hope we helped you. And yeah, if you haven't read our book yet, what are you doing? What are you doing? Go read it. It will help you connect to the other side, because we created it with that intention in mind. And therefore it does, because what you put out is what you get back, right? So we put that out, really put that out in the book. It opens a portal, and the portal takes you to the afterlife, which is pure love. Okay, Lori says starting chapter 7. Okay, great. Great. Thank you so much. All right, take care until next time, guys. All right, bye-bye.
Thank you, Pam. Bye.
You're so welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you.